Welcome to today's session using GW assessment in your LMS with Canvas and Schoology. For today's session, we will walk you through how to use GW assessment within Canvas and Schoology. The agenda for today will be focusing on activating GW assessment subscription within your LMS, navigating through the welcome page or the home page of GW assessment, exploring the different type of assessment that we have within GW assessment, how to print assessment, as well as how to edit and customize assessment, assigning the assessment within your LMS, and then looking at, once your student have taken the assessment, looking at the report by item as well as learning outcome. And then if there's any question from the audience, we'll take that as well. We also have some resources and support articles that you can certainly get access to after our session if you want to take a look at it. We have tutorial videos as well as step-by-step walkthrough of PDF files and any frequent asked questions. So we have it for GW assessment. We have it for how you walk through for Canvas as well as for Schoology. And then if you have any further question afterward, you're welcome to submit a ticket to our customer support to be able to, who will be able to address any question that you may have. All right, let me move into demonstrating what this will look like inside Canvas. So once you log into Canvas, you'll be able to locate the course that you are teaching. So I'm going to go into my GW assessment course within Canvas. So let me click into here. Prior to you being able to use GW assessment within your Canvas setup, you will need to work with your LMS administrator to have the Google assessment integrated into your platform before this can work. So once your LMS admin have the GW assessment integrated into your LMS, you will be able to locate the GW assessment feature within your left-hand navigation. The placement of where this is will depend on where your LMS admin places. So for me, GW assessment is living on the top, but it could be anywhere in the navigation based on where your LMS admin decide to place that positioning of the application. So I'm going to go ahead and click into GW assessment. Once this loads, the first thing that the platform will ask you to do is to connect your LMS course with GW assessment before you can actually assign. So what we want to do is be able to click on where the banner says time to connect your LMS course to GW assessment. You want to click connect. Once we do that, we'll be able to create a new classroom. What you want to do is go ahead and make sure that it is selecting for classroom for your LMS, and then you want to go ahead and click next. And you can give it a name if the name of the course is different than what you want it to appear in GW assessment. You can change it. I am going to go ahead and leave it as is, and we're going to go ahead and create that classroom. Now this is done. So you only have to do this once. The connection needs to be synced between the Canvas classroom as well as the Google class, as well as the, not Google, but the GW assessment classroom. Once that's done, you only have to do this once at the beginning of a new class. For this welcome page within GW assessment, you will see that there is the assigned assessment. So any assignment that you have assigned to your student will appear here so that you can easily locate it. At this moment, since I just connected the course and it's a brand new one, I have no assignment. On the right-hand side, you'll see the library, my library. This is a listing of basically your book bag that the listing of all the product that you have purchased or have adopted with GW. For me, I have quite a few. So there's quite a few that I have. So for me to narrow this down, one of the things that I want to click into is library that will allow me to be able to find the courses that I am going to talk through with you guys today, which is the focus will be on modern automotive technology. Although I am selecting this title, the functionality of how GW assessment work will all be the same. I am just using modern automotive as the product for demonstration here. But if you're using some other courses like entrepreneurship or any of the other GW product that you're using, just know the functionalities are the same. So when I land on the assessment page of the modern automotive technology, what you'll be able to see for any course, let me zoom in a little bit, for any course is that our content are organized by chapters or unit depending on the product itself. For automotive here is organized by chapter. Within the chapter, you'll always have exam, pre-test, and post-test. Where the content might vary for other product would be, some product will have end of chapter content. For this particular modern automotive, they also have ASE content. So the content will vary, but you will always have pre-test, post-test, and exam for every single product that GW provide. And as you scroll down, you'll be able to see that there are other chapters, again, organizing in the same manner. If you're wanting to see what is included in, let's say, a pretest, you can go ahead and select the pretest by clicking on the link itself, or you can click on preview. We're going to go ahead and just click on the link itself. So within the assessment, you'll be able to see what the question is going to look like when your student click into to take the assessment itself. So from here, I can see that there are 5 questions that are tied to the pretest for chapter 1 about automotive. And if I want to be able to navigate through and see what those 5 questions are, I can go ahead and click the next button and be able to then go through the 5 questions that's available for the pretest. If the font is a little small and I want to increase it, I can always click the plus button to increase the font, or I can click the minus button to reduce it. As I'm reviewing this assessment and trying to figure out if this is the assessment that I want to assign to my student, and if there's a particular question where I'm like, I'm not quite sure if I want to assign this, you can always flag it so that you can come back and visit it again later. And if you think that this question is good, after you come back and review it, you can go ahead and then remove the flag. You also have the ability to, if you want to, if this assessment looks good for you and you want to be able to print it out, you have the ability to click on the print button here. And this will allow you to then pick the different parameter in terms of print. So you can print with different font that we have available. You can print with dual column layout if you want to save some paper in terms of printout, if you want to shuffle the question, if you want to print just the assessment, or if you want to print just the answer key, or you can select both. And then what it does is then it would generate a PDF version of the assessment. And then from there, you'll be able to download and save it onto your computer. So here's the download, and you can download the key. I am not going to go ahead and do that, so I'll just move on, close this out. If you find that there's a question that you want to modify, and you're like, you know what, I want to be able to modify this. I might want, a little bit more than 5 questions for a pretest. I can go ahead and edit this. And then what it does is it makes a copy of the assessment, but it retains the original copy. So if you ever make a mistake, you can always delete it. And that original copy that we have for the pretest will still exist in your account. So we're going to go ahead and make a copy of the assessment. And from here, I can go ahead and click to edit. So I have question 1 here. If I want to navigate through the question, I can certainly navigate using the up and down arrow, or I just click right into the question itself. If I want to reorder the question, if you're not shuffling question order and you want a particular order for the assessment, then you want to go ahead and be able to reorder this. If, let's say, for whatever reason, for IEP purpose, for accommodation, your school does not like the fact that there are 4 options, you need to be able to reduce it down to 3 options. You have the ability to customize this content at any point in time. So if you want to, let's say we want to be able to reduce one of the answer option here, all I have to do is click on this 3-dot menu to the right of the menu. And then here you'll be able to see that you can customize the item. So again, we're making a copy. So if you ever make a mistake, you can always toss out the edit that you did and then bring back the original copy of that question. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy. And then from here, what it does is it will bring you into the item editor with the way the question is authored. So you can see fuel efficiency is the number of blank. And you can see that the correct answer is A. I don't like none are correct, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Now I'm reducing the option from 4 to 3, and then I can go ahead and save it. So now that I made a modification of that question, you'll see that there's a little icon in indication here that this question has been modified. If I'm looking to browse for more questions, let's go into modern automotive. I know I have, if I want to take a look, hey, I want to add a little bit more question to my exam, I can go ahead and select chapter 1. From here, I can also narrow this down a little bit to if I am looking for a particular learning outcome that I'm focused on. If I want to take a look at just focusing on 1.1, I can go ahead and narrow that down to 6 questions. I can go ahead and select, maybe I like this question. I want to add that. Maybe, I like this question as well. If I want to see the answer for this at any point in time, I can also click on auto reveal key to be able to see what the answer is. You see that little green check mark. And as I progress to the next question, I will be able to go ahead and check that. I like that. I can then go ahead and add those questions. You can always filter by question type as well. For this one, I just happen to have multiple choice question, but if there are other ones that you check and you see that there are extended text and you don't really want to do manually grading for those question type, you can filter those out. But for my filter, I don't happen to have any essays, questions, or short answer. I'm gonna go ahead and select the 2 questions. So now that you see my assessment went from 5 question to 7. So if I like this exam, I'm happy with it. Or if there's a particular question I don't like, I can always delete it as well. If you really want this to become, 6 question rather than 7, I can go ahead and delete this. And then I can go ahead and save this assessment. I just now customize the assessment. So you see now that this copy, I could have changed the name earlier. My apologies, I didn't show that, but if you edit it, you have the ability to change the name here to, let's say, my version. We're gonna go ahead and save that. So I just customized my assessment and I'm good to go. We'll go back to assessment. For the one that you customize, you'll always have access to that assessment. So if you want to be able to assign it from semester to semester because you made modification and you really like it, it will live in the assessment tab that you'll always have access to. If I were to go back and say, you know what, I am really looking to try to create an assessment that is not just focused on one chapter. I'm looking to do a midterm or a final. I want an assessment across multiple chapters. I have that capability as well. All I have to do is click plus assessment. And from here, I would be able to click browse. And I will be able to now select the chapter that I want to have my assessment focus on. So I can select chapter 1, 2, 3. That's what I want my assessment to focus on, is having some assessment that will be across 3 chapters. If there is particular LO that you want to focus on, you have the ability to narrow that down further by clicking on, let's say I want to focus on 1.2. I would be able to do that. If I want to say, hey, I want actually more than that. I just want 2.2, 1.2, as well as 3.2. So that I have across all 3 chapters. I have that now. And you can also narrow this down by question type. So if you're looking for just multiple choice, you'll be able to go ahead and select that. And now your exam is filtered down to 29 questions. If this looks good for you, then you can go ahead and preview the question that you have, or you can go ahead and select all of them and then be able to create that assessment. There's also an option if there are content that you don't see and you're really wanting to assess the student on, that is your own, and you want to be able to create and tie that into the assessment itself. You also have the ability to create your own items. So by clicking on the plus create item, you will now be able to create your own assessment question within our platform. And you can click the plus question. From here, you'll have an assortment of question type that you can create from. So we have anything ranging from stimulus all the way to line chart. So let me go ahead and just click on multiple choice to make it an easy one. I can then go ahead and type in the question itself, any of the option choices that I want to be able to put, and then all you have to do is select the correct answer, and that will allow you to build the question, and then just make sure that you save. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm not going to create a new one, but this is how you'll be able to proceed in creating your own question and have that included in the assessment that you're building to assess the student or to have it evaluate the student. Let me go ahead and close this out. And I'm going to cancel out of this. Now that I have an assessment created that I really like, and now I want to be able to assign it to my student, where you want to go is come back to Canvas, go into the assignment tab. We're going to go ahead and now create an assignment for our student. I'm going to leave the assignment name. What the platform does is the assignment name that you created earlier, or that we given to the pretest, post-test, or anything like that, will carry over here. So you don't really actually name it if you don't want to. I am going to go ahead and select external tool. This is where you're going to be able to find the GW assessment tool by clicking on external tool. And then from here, you'll click find, and you'll be able to see the GW assessment and click select. Oh, let me select that first. I am now in modern automotive. Again, for you, you wouldn't have this crazy drop-down list that I do, but I can always type in here to narrow down the list of the product that I have. So I have my automotive. If I was satisfied with the pre-test and post-test, and I'm good with it, I can go ahead and assign it. I don't have to modify it to be able to assign it. But if you are looking for the one that you modify and be like, I took the time to modify, I want to be able to assign that assessment, where you want to go is to my library. And then from here, you saw that assessment that I created earlier or modify, it lived here. I can go ahead and assign it. And just by clicking on assign, I click OK here. And it'll take a second for that to populate into your Canvas setup. I'm going to go ahead and click select. And now that assessment, you saw the naming that I gave is automatically populated in the assignment name. I want to give it some point. Give it 100 point. And then from here, you want to be able to provide your normal policy due date and start and due date and all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and assign without doing that. One thing I do want to provide is that we do in GW assessment also have some specific policy that you can utilize with the assessment. So you click the 3-dot menu on the upper right corner, you can click on settings. From here, you'll be able to choose some preferences that will allow you to set up and organize the way the assessment can be seen by your students. So you have the ability to enable shuffle if you want the answer choices to change, shuffle question order just by enabling that toggle button. We also have a feature called Enable Read Out Loud that will allow a button for the student to click that will read that question prompt as well as the answer option to be read out loud to the student. So this is a great feature for ELS student and as well as any student that want to have the content be read to them. So you have that ability to do that. We also have the ability for you to create this as a practice assessment. It does not have to be a graded assessment. A practice assessment would mean that it will still create a column in your gradebook in your LMS, but no grade will feed back into the gradebooks so that your gradebook is not cluttered. But if you ever want to see, that my student take that assessment or the practice assessment, I want to see if they did anything, you have the ability to see that within GW. You'll be able to see that in GWA or GW assessment. You just won't be able to see that in the gradebook if you're interested. If for whatever reason you're like, you know what, I want to convert the practice to graded, all you have to do is come back and deselect that or toggle it off. That practice assessment will now become graded. You also have the ability to, determine when the students see their responses. So you can review the student score. You can, allow the student to see their responses, meaning, what they provided in terms of the answers. You can also allow to see the correct answer. And then you also have the ability to determine how many attempts you want for this assessment. So it could go anywhere from, unlimited by setting it to 0 or 1 to 99. So that's your preference. And then you also have the score choices to use, latest or greatest, latest or highest. And then we're going to go ahead and click submit. That's how you would go ahead and assign. Once your student has completed the assessment and you want to see how they're graded, you'll be able to see, I'm going to switch to a different account where I have this set up. You'll be able to see the student score through the gradebook itself or through the assignment. So if I go through gradebook, I have an assessment that a student had taken earlier. you'll see that, I have two students, one score 90, one score 70. If I want a little bit more detail in terms of how they did by individual question, all I have to do is click on the assignment header, or I go right into the assignment itself. You'll be able to now see that we have result by item that will allow you to see an item by item analysis of how the student did for that particular assessment. By default, student name are anonymous. If for whatever reason you want to be able to throw this up on the screen to allow your student to see how how everyone did in the class for this assessment, either to celebrate how well they did or to say, hey, not a lot of you studying, look how poorly you did in this assessment. So it's all anonymous. At any point in time you want to see how the individual, you want to know who those students are, you can click on reveal name. And from here, you'll be able to see the individual student name, how they did in each one of the questions. So we have 10 questions in this assessment. You can see what the the different color differentiation between green, red to yellow to let you know at a glance how your student did. So predominantly, my assessment for the two students mainly is a lot of green, so they have gone through and it looks great. If I want to take a look at the score itself, and how the student do it in each one of the question, I can select the question and I'll be able to see by student how each one of them did. So I could just navigate through the question and be able to see that, and can adjust if this is wrong and you think this is the right answer, maybe there's something wrong with the content and you want to award the student the full point, you just go ahead and click the 1 and then you just click check, and that will automatically update this question for the student from a 0 to a 1. So you see that's done. My grade has been updated. If you want to see how the students are progressing against the learning outcome, you'll be able to click on report by standard. From here, you'll be able to see that, hey, here's the learning outcome for 1.1. This is how my student progressing against that. If you're interested in seeing what is 1.1, you can always click on it. Now you'll be able to see that it's describing the factor to consider when developing personal career development for this particular text. That's what reporting look like. I am quickly going to flip through and show you what this look like from a Schoology perspective. So for Schoology, everything else in terms of how you assign and how you modify and how you print and all of that is literally the same thing, except in the Schoology LMS. So when we come into Schoology, you'll be able to again see the GW assessment. With Schoology, it will depend on what your Schoology admin have named this application. So for me, we have GW assessment. I have 2, you will not. I have it pointing to 1.1 as well as 1.3. Again, if I click into GW assessment, the same thing that we went through for Canvas, you'll need to connect. And once you connect the class, then you'll be able to go through the process of assigning the assessment that you want for your student. I'm going to go ahead and just create the class. So once I create it, I can go ahead and then assign. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly run through how to assign assessment within Schoology, because everything else is the same that we just went through with Canvas. So to assign an assessment in Schoology, what you want to do is click on Add Material. So we're going to go ahead and click on GW Assessment. You'll see adding material once the modal pop up for GW assessment. It is exactly the same thing that I just shown you in Canvas, right? You're coming in, now you can go ahead and pick and select the assessment that you want to assign, or you can go to My Library and select the custom assessment that you created. So I created, again, as a reminder, in Canvas, I made a change to the automotive. I can go ahead and click here to assign. Are you sure? Yes. It'll take a second for this to get loaded. And now I'm done. You see that this assessment is now available for my student to take. One thing I do want to recommend for, depending on the LTI that your LMS administrator is using, one thing you want to double check is to make sure you come into edit. You want to make sure that enable grading is checked. For LTI 1.1, it does not automatically do it. LTI 1.3, it does. So again, I would just confirm that the enable grading is checked. Otherwise, once your student take the assessment, the grade will not feed into the gradebook if this is not checked. So we're going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And that's it. Let me see. Oh, I forgot to select a category for the assessment. So you want to be able to provide a category for your assessment. I'm going to go ahead and just select ungraded for now, but you'll go through the process of adding a category for where you want that assignment to fall. But that's it for Schoology. Everything else in terms of, again, printing the assessment, modifying it, reviewing it, all of that is the same through the GW assessment application that we went through earlier in Canvas. So there's no change here at all. So you want to select the title that you have adapted, and from here you'll be able to see, content organized by chapter, by pretest, post-test exam, and you'll be able to assign it from there. Hopefully this webinar is helpful. If you have any questions that we have not addressed during this session, feel free to reach out to our customer support and they'll be able to help you with any question. Thank you so much, you guys. Appreciate it.